Some of us have friends, family, boyfriends, or girlfriends to lean on when they're feeling down. But my friends are irresponsible. My family doesn't always understand what's going on in my head. And well, I've never had a real girlfriend. Though if you do know any good-looking girls in the Boston area next year, I will take numbers. Anyway, while some of us have people to rely on to cheer us up, I have Ranksdorf Park, a patch of concrete with some metal ramps and rails. When my home does not feel like home, Ranksdorf does. In 7th grade, I was not even supposed to be there. My mother had ordered that I not go to the skate park because she feared that gang activity had been circulating around that neighborhood. I went anyway, and it was all so new. I came to Ranksdorf, a brace-faced 12-year-old with ratty shoulder-length hair and some beat-up shoes, to meet a whole group of locals, kids like me who wanted to skate all day, every day. There were 12 of us, maybe more, and we made up the most diverse, tight-knit group I had ever. Rich kids, poor kids, fat kids, Jewish kids, Hispanic kids, Vietnamese kids, tall kids, and short kids. There were kids from Crittenden and Graham, from Block and Egan, even from the high school. We didn't care that we were all so different. We were just kids in one place to do one thing, and for me, it was all new. I come from Egan, a place where kids could spend $20 at the student store, throw out packs of fruit snacks to anyone who wanted them, and not have to worry about how they were going to buy lunch for the rest of the week. To me, Ranksdorf was a culture shock. It was all unfamiliar, but also welcome. Mexican sodas tickled my tongue, cow tongue tacos shook my stomach, and the stories my friends told about their families blew my mind. I had never been exposed to someone whose mother was only 13 years older than they were, someone whose parents were in jail, whose father abandoned them, someone whose family couldn't afford a computer when I had one all to myself. It was all so new, and I felt guilty, but no one was blaming me. Ranksdorf had opened my eyes to the real world, or at least a part I had never seen before. And regardless of our differences, we were all filthy little kids who chose not to go to baseball practice and not to loiter around downtown Los Altos after school, but to skate Ranksdorf. We labeled ourselves the Ranksdorf Rats, and Ranksdorf was our home. Well, Storf, time goes by and people move on. Angel, Chin, and Colin all quit skating. I'm sure you noticed that. Andrew moved to Mississippi after he dropped out of high school, and Rob moved back to England. Ranksdorf Rats don't roam your filthy grounds anymore, and you certainly did change us. You made me less ignorant, and for a time extremely condescending toward my Egan peers. You taught me that 50 cents is the perfect price to pay for a popsicle, and you made me dirty. Believe me, I'm much cleaner now. Now I know I've neglected you somewhat, reducing my daily 2-hour-long visits to once a month for 20 minutes. But I'll never forget what it felt like to roll up and down your ramps and grind your coping when I just wanted to be alone. You've been there when I was bored and of the worst kind, the kind where you go on Facebook and start looking through the pictures of someone you barely know. And I'll never forget that time Andrew managed to jump over your fence even though it was as tall as he was. I'll never forget how I used to eat tortas on the top of the halfpipe as we'd all watch the older skaters perform tricks we had never even thought of learning. And I'll never forget all those summer days where we would lay out under the shade of the oak tree because we had all been burnt by falling on the boiling hot metal ramps. But soon I'll be gone, Ranksdorf, and our memories, yours and mine, might fade away. But I know one day I'll be back. One day I'll dust off my skateboard, I'll roll up and down your ramps, and maybe even grind your coping if I still got it, though I doubt I will since arthritis runs in my family. You'll look different, Storf. Maybe even better, though I know I won't. And maybe, just maybe, there'll be some other Ranksdorf Rats there with me.